Hello everybody, welcome to this next video on linear algebra. In the last video and second last video we were talking about direct sum decomposition of a vector space. So till now we have talked about direct sum decomposition of a vector space, direct sum decomposition of a vector space, and in this video we are going to talk about T invariant direct sum decomposition. So there is an addition of this word T invariant. So let us see what do we mean by T invariant direct sum decomposition of a vector space. Now the moment T invariant comes, it means that there is a linear transformation involved. So the idea is let V be a vector space and let T from V to V be a linear transformation. Right? If V is direct sum of W1, W2, WR, where each Wi is T invariant subspace of V. Now, what is T invariant subspace of V? That means that we want T of Wi is a subset of Wi. So, it means that Wi is mapped to itself under T. So, this is what we mean by saying that Wi is T invariant subspace of V. So, when you can write your vector space as W1 direct sum W2 direct sum W3 direct sum WR, where each of W1, W2, WR, they are the T invariant subspaces of V, then we say that V is having a T invariant direct sum decomposition. Then you say that T is having V is having T invariant direct sum decomposition. So and the example is very simple. You can think of an example. You know, in the yesterday's video, in the last video, I gave you this example that R3 is direct sum of xy plane and z axis. So this is the example which we had discussed yesterday, that R3 is a direct sum of xy plane and z axis. Right, now what I am going to do is here till now this is the direct sum decomposition. There is no T involved, so we are not talking about T invariant. Right, so this is direct sum decomposition of R3. Now what you do, you just define a map. I am defining T from R3 to R3, which is defined as T of x, y, z is taken to x cos theta minus y sin theta, x sin theta plus y cos theta, z goes to z, where theta is a fixed angle. So what we are doing actually, what is this? This is just the rotation by theta about z axis. Right? So this map here is rotation by theta about z axis. And you can prove that this is a linear transformation. That is very easy to prove, that this is a linear transformation. Now you see, is xy plane invariant under this T? Is xy plane invariant under T? Right, so we have already proved this thing actually in some video, but you can see what is happening. Here is your x-axis, here is your y-axis, here is your z-axis. If you are taking a vector in xy plane and you rotate it by an angle theta about z-axis, so still you will be in xy plane. You will not come out of xy plane. So that is why if you take a vector, let me take an example. If you take a, b, 0 and you apply t on it, what you are going to get? You are going to get a cos theta minus b sin theta, a cos theta plus b sin a sin theta plus b cos theta, and here 0. Now since the third component after transformation is still 0, so you are still in xy plane. Therefore this xy plane is t invariant. So you get t of xy plane is still in xy plane. Therefore xy plane is t invariant. Right? Okay, now let us go to other space, which is z axis here. The other subspace is z axis. So is z axis invariant under T? The answer is yes. Again you have this z axis and here is your xy plane. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. If you take any vector on z-axis, this is, and you rotate it about z-axis by an angle theta, you will be at the same place. So you can see 0, 0, z. This is how a general element of z-axis looks like. This will go to 0, 0, z. So under this transformation, the same element you will get back. Therefore, t of z-axis is in z-axis. In fact, this is equal here. Therefore, z-axis is also t invariant. Is also t invariant. So this decomposition here, which is r cube is equal to xy plane plus z-axis, we know this is direct, and t, which is defined from r cube to r cube, which is t x y z, is x cos theta minus y sin theta x sin theta plus y cos theta z. So together these all things, here we can say that this is T invariant direct sum decomposition. Direct sum decomposition of R cube. Is our thing clear? Now I can give you an example which is not the direct sum decomposition of R cube. Right. So let us look at an example which is not a direct sum decomposition of R cube. You see, this is very important that you look at the examples. Unless until you have examples, it is not clear to your mind what you are talking about. If you are looking at some theory, it is very important that you look at the examples, because in that way you have clear in your mind what is happening exactly, right? So another example I'll give you. Again, you can take r cube is equal to xy plane plus z-axis. This is a direct sum. What do you mean by a direct sum? It means that their intersection is having only the 0 element, right? Okay. Now I am defining a map from r cube to r cube, which is say x y z goes to say x plus y, okay, y, and here you have x plus y plus z. Okay, or you can make it more simple. You can just take x comma y and then you have x plus y plus z. Now is xy plane T invariant? You can very easily see no. Why? Because the third component is x plus y plus z. If I take any element a comma b comma 0, this is a typical element of xy plane, that component 0, that will go to a comma b comma a plus b plus 0. So this is not in xy plane because third component is non-zero. So xy plane is not T invariant. So this here is an example where it is V is direct sum decomposition. Obviously this is direct sum decomposition, but not the T invariant direct sum decomposition. But not the T invariant direct sum decomposition. Is that thing clear? So it is very important that you look at the things from all the perspective, that what exactly is happening, right? Okay, so moving on to, I would like to make a picture what exactly is happening for direct sum decomposition and then for T invariant direct sum decomposition. So for direct sum decomposition, because with pictures you have a longer memory, you can remember those things for a longer time if you look at the pictures. So direct sum decomposition, the picture looks like that you have V here, and then you have subspaces. You have 0 here. So this space is W1, this space is W2, this space is W3, and so on. This space is WR. So we have in all these W1, W2, WR, the common element is only 0, and they cover whole of V. So you have V is equal to W1 direct sum W2 direct sum WR, right? And this is not a this is just for representation. It is not something which is very exact, just to remember that what exactly is happening. Then T invariant direct sum decomposition. T invariant direct sum decomposition. This will look like, again you have, this is your V, right? Then you have 0 here common, then you have W1 here, W2 here, W3 here, and so on, WR here. Now the extra thing is there is a operator T, right? There is an operator T, linear transformation, which is from V to V, such that this W1 is mapped to W1. Okay, the same thing is here, and this W2 is mapped to W2, right? And this W3 here is mapped to W3. So this is the structure you have, right? Now can you think of the moment you have this picture here, what else can you interpret? Now because T maps W1 to W1, and W1 is also a vector space because it is a subspace. So you have a restriction of T on to W1. We call it T1. So T1 is from W1 to W1, which is defined as T1 of W is actually T of W. Whatever is T of W, that is T1 of W now. And similarly, you can have this another restriction. So this is your T1 here, and this here is T2, and this here is T3. So similarly, you have restriction of T onto W2. You call it T2. So T2 is from W2 to W2, which is defined as T2 of W is T of W, right? And so on. And so on. So you at the end you have restriction of T onto WR, which you call as TR. So TR is from WR to WR, which is defined as TR of W is T of W. Is that thing clear? So now you have T1, T2, T3, TR as your maths. We say that T is direct sum decomposition of T1, T2, TR is direct sum of T1, T2, TR, and write it as T is equal to T1 direct sum T2 direct sum TR. Okay, this is the notation. So whenever you have this thing, it means that you have a T invariant direct sum decomposition of the space V, and then this T1, T2, TR, they are the restrictions of T onto the subspaces W1, W2, WR, right? So there is like names. For example, we also call we say that subspaces W1, W2, WR reduce T. So this is just the way of saying, we say that W1, W2, WR reduce T. So there may be a statement like this: do these spaces reduce T? It means that do you have a direct sum decomposition of the vector space, and hence the direct sum decomposition of your linear transformation. Okay, so this is, we say that subspaces W1, W2, WR reduce T, or we say that they form T invariant direct sum decomposition of V. That is the same thing, right? We say that subspaces W1, W2, WR form a T invariant direct sum decomposition of T. Right. So this is how we define the T invariant direct sum decomposition of T, or sorry, not T here, here it will be V, because we are talking about T invariant means it is a vector space. So this is T invariant direct sum decomposition of V. Thank you for watching. Please do share this video with your friends and do subscribe and like this channel. Thank you for your support.